light, daffodils, and me. I am almost a whole day old now. I arrived yesterday, I think. For if there was a day before yesterday, I was not there when it happened, or I should remember it.
Monday. This creature with a full head of hair is a good deal in the way. I do not like it. It's always hanging around and following me about. I wish it would just stay with the other animals. It's cloudy today. We have wind in the east. And I think we shall have rain. We? Where did I get that word? Oh, I remember now. This new creature uses it.
The moon, it got loose last night and slid down and fell out of the scheme. It was a very great loss. It breaks my heart to think of it. But there isn't another thing among all of the ornaments and decorations that was comparable to it for its beauty and its finish. It should have been fastened on better. Oh, if only we can get it back, for I do so love moons. They're so pretty and so romantic. Oh, I wish I should never go to bed, for I should never tire of lying on the moss bank and looking up at them.
Tuesday. I've been examining the great waterfall. It's the finest thing on the estate, I think. This new creature calls it Niagara Falls. Why? I'm sure I do not know. Says it looks like Niagara Falls. That's not a reason. It's mere waywardness and imbecility. I get no chance to name anything myself. This new creature names everything that comes along before I can get in a protest. And always the same pretext is offered. It looks like the thing.
I followed the other experiment around yesterday afternoon, well, at a distance, to see what it might be for if I could. But I could not make it out. I think it is a man. I have never seen a man, but it looked like one. I find that I feel more curiosity about it than about any of the other reptiles. Well, and that is if it is a reptile, and I suppose that it must be, for it has no hair and beady eyes and looks like a reptile. So I suppose it is a reptile. Though it may be architecture. Do you like stars? Stars. Do you like them? Well, I do. Last night I tried to knock some down with a pole, but it didn't reach, which astonished me. And so then I tried clods until I was all tired out. I never got one. It's because I cannot throw good.
The new creature cannot throw good.
Well, I know, but man can. Would you clod one of those stars down for me? I want to put it in my hair.
Go away and be quiet. You're always talking. You're leaking water out of your holes. Oh, stop it! I'm going to climb a tree.
I thought I was afraid of the other creature, but now I know it's afraid of me, and I'm not timid anymore. I tracked it a while, but it was a good deal worried and climbed a tree. I waited a while, then gave up and went home. Today, same thing over. I got it up the tree again.
Wednesday. I built me a shelter against this rain, but could not have it to myself for long. This new creature intruded. Get out. Well, they must have given you a bad set of holes because they're leaking again.
They're tears.
Tears.
I've got it up the tree again. It's up there yet, resting apparently. Well, it tires me just to stand around and watch the tree. I do wonder what it was for. I never see it do anything. They've returned them. It slid down and fell off again, but there's no need to fear when one has that sort of neighbor. They will fetch it back again. I would like to do something to show my appreciation. I would like to send them some stars, for we have more than we can use. I mean I, not we, for I can see that the reptile cares nothing for such things.
Friday. The naming goes recklessly on. In spite of anything I can do, I had a very good name for the estate. It was very musical and pretty. The Garden of Eden. Privately, I continued to call it that, but no longer publicly. This new creature says it's all rocks and woods and scenery, and therefore has no resemblance to a garden. It says it looks like a park, and does not look like anything but a park. Consequently, without consulting me first, it has been new named Niagara Falls Park. Now this is sufficiently high-handed, it seems to me. Oh, and already there's a sign up. Keep off the grass. My life is not as happy as it was. Hey, get away from that tree, it's forbidden! Saturday. This new creature eats too much fruit. And we're going to run short, most likely. We again. That is its word. Mine too now, from hearing it so much. A good deal of fog this morning. I do not go out in the fog myself. But this new creature does. It goes out in all weathers. And stumps in my shelter with its little muddy feet. And talks and talks. It used to be so pleasant and quiet here.
If this reptile is a man, then it isn't really an it, now is it? That wouldn't be grammatical, now would it? I think it would be he. Yes, I think so. In that case, one would conjugate it thus. Nominative, he, dative, him, and possessive, hisen. Well, I will consider it a man and call it to be such, until it turns out to be something else. Well, this will be much handier than having so many uncertainties. Good morning, he. You may call me Eve.
Eve? Okay, I have no objections. But you are superfluous.
Superfluous, why, Adam, what a lovely word. Where did you get it?
I made it up. I was just looking at it, and I thought, superfluous.
I am a she, not an it.
Okay, she is superfluous.
I am a part of you. That's right. I was made from a rib taken from your body.
Don't be silly, Eve. I haven't been missing any ribs.
Really? I love to talk. I talk all day, and I talk and talk and talk, and in my sleep, too. And I am very interesting. But if I had another to talk to, I could be twice as interesting. Wednesday. We are getting along very well indeed now. I'm getting better and better acquainted. He does not try to avoid me anymore, which is a good sign. That shows he likes to have me with him.
Oh, superfluous! She engages herself in many foolish things. Among others, to study out why animals like lions and tigers live on grass and trees and flowers, when, as she says, the sort of teeth they wear would mean that they are intended to eat each other. Now this is foolish, because to do that would be to kill each other. And that, or as I understand, is called death. And death, as I have been told, has not yet entered the park, or garden. Which is a pity on some accounts. Ow.
What is wrong? Have I done something to make you angry?
Oh, go stand, rain like a hose leak.
That was my first sorrow.
Sunday. I pulled through. Monday. I believe I see what the week is for. It's to give us time to rest up from the weariness of Sunday. That seems a good idea. She's climbing that tree again.
But nobody was watching!
Well, that seems hardly sufficient justification for chancing such a dangerous thing.
Justification? Why, Adam was...
Eat, therefore beer! You'll come to harm if you don't watch out.
But if I please you, it doesn't matter if I come to harm. What is that voice?
I've heard it before, though I've never seen it.
Tell me about it.
It's a lord of this garden. He told me to dress it and keep it, and do not eat of this apple tree you keep trying to eat from.
But why?
If we do, our death will be certain, and we'll surely die.
But why would he put it there and ask us not to eat its fruit?
This is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Well, good and evil?
Yes.
What is that?
What is what?
Why, those things. What is good?
I don't know. How should I know?
Well then, what is evil?
I don't know. How should I know?
Adam, you must have some idea of what it means.
Why should I have some idea? I've never seen the thing. How am I to form any conception of it if I've never seen the thing? What is your own notion of it?
I don't know.
Why?
Well, but Adam, there were those other new words. Die and death. What do they mean?
I don't know. How should I know?
What do you think they mean?
My child! Can't you see that it is impossible for me to make even a plausible guess concerning a matter in which I'm totally ignorant? A person can't think if he has no material to think with. Isn't that true?
Yes, I know it. But how vexatious it is. Well, just because I can't know, I all the more want to. We stood a while, turning the puzzle over in our minds. Then all at once I saw how to find out and was surprised we had not thought of it before. It was so simple. Adam, come. Let us eat of the fruit and then we shall die and we shall know what it is and not have any more bother about it.
Oh, you're right! Wait, no, you're wrong! Father commanded us not to eat of this tree.
Well, you're no fun. How will we ever understand?
Sunday. Pulled through. Tuesday. Oh, she is taken up with the snake now. Now the other animals are glad, because she was always experimenting and bothering them. And I am glad because the snake can talk. And this enables me to get a rest.
Adam, the snake, he advised me to try the fruit.
Eve,
He said the result will be a great and fine education.
we'll have another result. You'll introduce death into the world. I advise you to stay away from that tree.
Don't you tell me what to do.
Friday. She's taken to beseech me to stop going over the falls. What harm can it do?
It makes me shudder.
Why? I've always done it. I've always liked the plunge and the coolness. I suppose it was what the falls are for. They had no other purpose as far as I can see. Well, they must have been made for something.
They were only made for scenery, like the rhinoceros and the mastodon.
I went over the falls in a barrel. Not satisfactory to her. I went over the falls in a tub. Still not satisfactory. So I decided to swim the whirlpools and the rapids. And I got much damaged. Hence more tedious complaints about my extravagance. I'm too much hampered here. What I need is a change of scene.
I tried to persuade Adam to stop going over the falls. And that was because this new thing called fire had revealed to me a new passion. Fear. Oh, and it is horrible. I wish I had never discovered it. It gives me dark moments and spoils my happiness. It makes me shiver and shudder. But I could not persuade him, for he has not yet discovered fear, and so he could not understand me.
Oh, perhaps I ought to remember that she's very young and a mere girl, and make allowances. She cannot speak of delight when she finds a new flower. She must pet it and caress it, smell it, talk to it, and pour out enduring names upon it. Oh, and she is color mad. Brown rocks, yellow sand, gray moss, green foliage, blue sky, the pearl of dawn, the purple shadows of the mountains, the golden islands floating on the crimson seas at sunset, and the star jewels glittering in the wastes of space. None of them are of any practical value as far as I can see, but because they have color and majesty, that's enough for her, and she loses her mind over them. If she could just quiet down and keep still for a few moments at a time, now that would be a repulsive spectacle. You know, in that case, I think I can enjoy looking at her. No, indeed, I'm sure I could. But I'm coming to realize that she's quite a remarkably comely creature. Lithe, slender, trim, rounded, shapely, nimble, and graceful. And once when she's lying marble white and sun-drenched on a boulder, with her young head tilted back, and her hand shading her eyes, watching the flight of a bird in the sky, I recognized she was beautiful.
He talks very little. Perhaps it's because he is not bright and is sensitive about it and wishes to conceal it. You know, it is a pity that he should feel so, for brightness is nothing. Well, it's in the heart that the true values lie. Oh, I wish I could make him understand that a loving and kind heart is riches, and riches enough. And that without it, intellect is poverty.
I escaped! Well, I escaped and rode a horse about an hour and a half after sunup. As I was riding through a flowery plain where thousands of animals were grazing, they suddenly broke into a tempest of frightful noises. And in one moment, the plain was a frantic commotion, and every beast was destroying its neighbor. I knew what it meant. Eve had eaten the fruit, and death had come into the world. I found this place, outside of the garden, and it was fairly comfortable for a few days. But she's found me out, and I've already named the place Tonawanda.
Well, that's because
It looks like Tonawanda.
In fact, I'm not sorry she came. There are but meager pickings here. But when she brought some of those apples, when she came curtain boughs and bunches of leaves, I snatched them away and threw them down, and asked her what she meant by such nonsense. She tittered and blushed. I'd never seen a person titter and blush before, and to me it seemed quite unbecoming and idiotic.
you knew soon enough how it felt.
Well, after this, we set out where the wild beast battle had been, and collected some of these skins.
Well, he made me piece together a couple of suits proper for public occasion.
They're uncomfortable.
But stylish.
And that's the main point about clothes.
Sorry. Well,
Work?
Yes. Something we shall have to do for the rest of our lives. It is ordered.
I find she's a good deal of a companion. I see I should be lonesome and depressed without her now that I've lost my property. She will be useful. I will superintend.
Love, peace, measureless contentment. That was life in the garden. It was a joy to be alive. No pain there was none, nor infirmity, nor any of the physical signs to mark the flight of time. All days were alike and all a dream of delight. A year passed. Adam went into the North Country. And it was born. What a surprise! I had not known anything was going to happen. But it is as Adam is always saying, it is the unexpected that happens. Well, some of its details were human, but there were not enough of them to justify us in scientifically classifying it under that head. We must wait for further developments.
We named it Cain. She caught it while I was up trapping on the north shore of Erie. Caught it in timber a couple miles from our dugout. Now it resembles us in some ways, maybe a relation. That's what she thinks. But this is an error in my judgment, for the difference in size warrants the conclusion that it's a different and new kind of animal. The coming of this creature seems to have changed her whole nature and made her unreasonable about experiments.
I care so much for it.
More than she does for any of the other animals.
Well, I can't explain why.
Sometimes she carries that thing that looks like a fish in her arms half the night. Pats it on the back, makes soft sounds to soothe it, and is solicitous to it in 100 ways. I've never seen her do this with any other animal, and it troubles me greatly. Now, I think it's a fish. Although when I put it in the water to see, it just sank. And then she plunged in and snatched it out before there was an opportunity for the experiment to determine the matter. But she's indifferent about what it is and will not let me have it to try.
Little one, on Sunday we do not work. On Sundays we rest.
Now, I've come to love Sundays myself. Well, superintending all the week can tire a body so. There ought to be more Sundays. On the old days they were tough, but now they come in handy.
Adam, look! It's laughing! Now, did you ever see a fish that could laugh?
Well, maybe that it's not a fish. Although I can't see if it can swim or not. All right. If it's not a fish, then it's an enigma.
That's a nice word, Adam.
Either an enigma or some kind of bug. If it dies, I'm going to take it apart and see what its arrangements are.
Over my dead body!
3 months later. The perplexity augments instead of diminishes. I sleep but little, and I cease from lying around and goes about on its little 4 legs now. Yet it differs from other 4-legged animals in that its front legs are unusually shorter than its hind legs. Consequently, this causes the main parts of anatomy to stick up uncomfortably high in the air. This is not attractive. No. Well, it's built much as we are. Yet its method of traveling shows that it's not of our breed. Short front legs and long hind ones indicates that it's of the kangaroo family. Wow, it must have been very young when it came. Well, it has grown exceedingly since. It must be 5 times as big now as it was then. Oh, and when discontented, it's able to make from 20 to 38 times the noise it made at first. Now, coercion does not modify this, but has a contrary effect. So for this reason, I discontinue that system. Look at her. She reconciles it by persuasion, and by giving it things in which she previously told me she wouldn't give it. Seems odd that she be the only one. Yet it must be so. I've worn myself these many weeks trying to find another to add to my collection, and for this little one to play with. For surely then it'd be much quieter, and we could tame her more easily. But I found none, nor any vestige of any. And strangest of all, no tracks. Let's turn this one loose.
No! You cruel brute!
Well, maybe you're right. Might make it lonelier than ever since I can't find another. 5 months later. It's not a kangaroo. No, no, no. It supports itself by holding her finger, thus going a few steps on its hind legs. Well, then it falls down. Oh, it's probably some sort of bear. Because bears do that. Well, it has no tail as of yet, and it still keeps on growing. Now that is a curious circumstance, because bears get their growth earlier than this. Bears are dangerous. Since our catastrophe, and I should not be satisfied to have this one prowling about the place much longer without a muzzle on. Eve, I'll get you a kangaroo if you let this one go.
No!
Oh, she was not like this before she lost her mind. Fortnight later. I've been examining its mouth. There's no teeth yet. So therefore, there's no danger. It has only one little tooth. But I shall go of a morning's breakfast to see if it gets more teeth. Because if it gets a mouthful of teeth, it will be time for it to go. Tail or no tail. A bear does not need a tail for it to be dangerous. 4 months later. I've been off hunting and fishing. Meanwhile, this little bear has learned to paddle around all by itself on its hind legs. It's learned to say, "Mama, Papa!" This imitation of speech, taken together with the general absence of fur, and entire absence of tail, indicates to me that it's a different kind of bear. I'm going to go off on a far expedition among the forests of the north and make an exhaustive search. There must certainly be another one somewhere, and this one will be less dangerous when it has a company of its own species. Three months later. It's been a weary hunt. And yet, while I've had no success, without even stirring from the home estate, she's caught another one. I've never seen such luck. I might have hunted those woods for 100 years and never ran across that thing. Next day, I've been comparing this new one with the old one. And it's perfectly plain that they are of the same breed. I was going to stuff one of them for my collection, but she was prejudiced against that for some reason or another. So I relinquished the idea. Although I think it's a mistake. It would be a irreparable loss of science if one were to get away. Now the older one is much tamer now, and can talk and laugh much like the parrots. Having learned this, no doubt, from being with the parrot so much. Well, and having been imitated faculty in a highly developed degree. Now this new one is as ugly as the old one was at first. Has that same raw meat and sulfur complexion. And same little singular head without any fur on it. She calls it Abel.
I think we were about 1.5 to 2 years old when Cain was born. About 3 or 3.5 when Abel was added. Well, by this time, Adam was beginning to understand. Gradually, his experiments grew less and less troublesome, until finally, within a year of the births of Gladys and Edwina, years 5 and 6, ceased altogether. Oh, he's come to love the children fondly, once he'd gotten them scientifically classified. And from that time until now, the bliss of Eden is perfect.
10 years later. There are boys! Yeah, little boys! Kind of like us. It was their coming in that small, immature shape that puzzled us. We were not used to it. Oh, and there were some little girls now, too.
Cain! Abel, keep out of my garden! When I look back, the garden is a dream to me. Oh, it was beautiful, surpassingly beautiful, enchantingly beautiful. Now it is lost, and I shall not see it anymore. True, the garden may be lost, but I have found him, and I am content. Well, he loves me as best he can, and I love him with all the strength of my passionate nature, and as I think is proper to my youth and sex. The boys are nearly as big as I am now.
Now that Abel, he's a good boy. But if Cain were to stay a bear, I think it would have improved him greatly. I never know what to expect from that kid, from one moment to the next.
Some time ago, my boys were fighting. Cain hit Abel and hid from the Lord. And now Cain is gone, and Abel is dead. There is too much stillness in the house.
Eve, are you all right?
Oh, Adam, it is my prayer, my longing that we shall pass from this life together, a longing which shall never perish from this earth.
Don't speak of death, Eve. We've had enough sorrow.
But if one of us must go first, it is my prayer that it shall be I. You are strong, and I am weak. Not so necessary to you as you are to me. Life without you would not be life. How could I endure it?
What do you get when you cross an elephant with peanut butter?
And that's always one of my favorites. Elephants that stick to the roof of your mouth.
I forgot.
If I ask myself why I love him, I find I do not know. I do not really care much to know. I suppose then that this kind of love is not a matter of reasoning and statistics, like one's love for other reptiles and animals. And I suppose that this must be so, for I love certain birds for their song, but I do not love Adam on account of his singing. No, it is not that. The more he sings, the more I do not reconcile myself to it. And yet I ask him to sing, because I wish to learn to like everything he is interested in. And I'm sure that I can, because at first I could not stand it. But now I can. It sours the milk, but I can get used to that kind of milk. It's not on account of his gracious and considerate ways and his delicacy that I love him. No, he has lacks in those regards. But he's well enough just so. It's not on account of his industry that I love him. No, it is not that. Well, then why is it? Merely because he is masculine, I suppose. Well, at bottom, he is good. And he is strong and handsome. And I am proud of him, and I admire him. But I could love him without those qualities. If he were plain, I should still love him. And if he were weak, I should love him. And I should care for him and pray for him and watch over him and stand by his bedside until the day that I die. So yes, I suppose that I love him merely because he is masculine and he is mine. There's no other reason, I suppose. But I am only a girl, and the first that has examined this matter. And it may turn out that in my ignorance and my inexperience, I've not got right.
Eve died today. I knew that she would. Well, her prayer was answered. And she died first. Now that she's gone, I realize something that I didn't realize before. At first, I thought she talked too much. Now I can see I was mistaken about Eve.
For it is better to live outside the garden with her than to live inside it without her. I should be sorry to have that voice fall silent and pass out of my life. Blessed be the experience that has brought us together and has taught me to know the goodness of her heart and the sweetness of her spirit. Because wheresoever she is, there is Eden.